CBS News spoke to a grieving Texas man about the struggles his wife and family have had to face after she suffered a miscarriage. Texas resident Ryan Hamilton says his world shattered on May 16th. His wife was nearly 13 weeks pregnant with her second child when she called him with the tragic news.
She said that our baby has no heartbeat. And that's all she could really get out.
CBS News correspondent Omar Villafranca is here in Studio 57 for more on this story. Ryan Hamilton spoke to you about this loss and really what happened also after and just seeking medical care. So first, can you tell us how this turned from worse to a nightmare and the emotional toll it's taken?
Well, and you heard him there. The first doctor visit, they found out they had a miscarriage. The baby did not have a heartbeat. The fetus did not have a heartbeat. So they're prescribed a drug. And right there, he was like, we're not sure what to do with it. This is not just take two and call me in the morning. Not to get too graphic for a stream, but this is a drug that has to be inserted for this. So they go through that. They're not sure what to expect. It's not working. They go back to the hospital and they say, okay, well, what do we do now? Well, the doctor there says, I'm using his words here, due to the current stance, we're not going to continue with this. At this point, as a husband, and he's watching his wife in pain who's bleeding, he's furious. They've been to the hospital now twice, and it's not figured out what's going on. Drives an hour to another hospital. They have to start from scratch. They establish that the fetus does not have a heartbeat at all. And they said, well, what about a surgery that can be done? Legally in the state of Texas, without that heartbeat, things can be done. It opens up options because of the law there. Well, that's not done. There's some confusion from the doctors. They give her a higher dose. He finds her after she takes that dose passed out on the bathroom floor, bleeding out. He has to rush her to a hospital that basically tells him, thank you for bringing her. You almost lost her. He's horrified. He's mad. He's angry.
What can you tell us about the confusion among the medical community and really how this law is affecting their ability to do their jobs? Because this law does include a medical exemption, right?
It does. But one of the big factors, especially in his case, is if there's no fetal heartbeat, then at that point, it's the fetus is no longer. The doctors can go in. But there is confusion around that. And they believe that's what happened here. But also they believe doctors are scared. They believe that doctors are worried that if they do something and it's misinterpreted, even though everything has to be documented, that a doctor ultimately could lose their license, could lose their practice, and no longer be a doctor in the state of Texas or anywhere. And he feels that hesitation happened to his wife could have cost her, her life and destroyed that family.
You know, this is such a hot button issue, but at the end of the day, this is not an issue. This is Ryan's life, his family's life. This is happening to them. This isn't a political argument. But what does he want to gain by talking to you and sharing their story?
Well, and you're right. He told us they weren't looking for an abortion. They never mentioned the word abortion. They just wanted health care for his wife.
It was doctors who mentioned abortion, right?
Yeah, well, nobody had mentioned it, and they're saying, what's going on? Like, nobody's talking about and saying that word.
Okay.
He wants people who think it can't happen to me, it can't happen to my family, to know it can. It can happen anywhere. Big city in a rural area where he lives. And he wants people to be aware because he says it's not as foreign. He thought we're healthy, we're great, but he lives in one of these states that has heartbeat laws. And talking to doctors across the state and other states as well, this is something that is starting to pop up. It's an unintended consequence of these laws, and he wants, listen, his wife is too devastated to talk, understandably.
It just happened.
But he wants dads and moms to know this can happen, be aware, be prepared. And it's ruined his life right now. They're trying to recover. They said they want prayers. They want to be put on people's prayer list. They want people to bring over food, old-fashioned type. But he's not sure that that's going to happen in this environment, and that is hurtful to him.
Yeah, well, we know they're grieving, and our thoughts are with them. Your entire story is on CBSNews.com right now. I encourage people to go and see it. Thank you.
Thank you.